As Pastor Eric said, all Advent season long, we have been thinking about from generation to generation, what are those things that are passed down for us for Christmas? And I've been thinking a lot about nativities. I don't know why. But one of my friends on Facebook has a nativity collection where she has enough nativities that she posts a photo of them every day of Advent. And they're interesting and different and multicolored, and sometimes the animals are different. It's a really interesting thing. It's one of my favorite things as it pops up every day to try to figure out what is she going to post today. And while I love looking at a fancy nativity like that, I was really intentional with what we built for our nativity today. Yes, I actually thought about how this would look. It's not just because of my lack of construction skills. There's a reason why we're set up this way. The first time I remember interacting with a nativity was a simple decoration in my parents' house. As a kid, we had all the typical Christmas decorations, the giant Christmas tree full of silver tinsel and ornaments until it almost looked like it was going to fall over. We had the red polyester stockings. Did anyone else have those? Remember those? Excellent. And when we went to my grandma's house, she had this super old antique Santa that if you cranked the thing in the back, it would sometimes move its arm, and sometimes when it moved its arm, it would make the bell in his hand ring. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It was terrifying. But in the middle of all the fancy and terrifying decorations, every year we had this nativity, and we placed it on top of our TV. And so back in the day, you could put things on top of your TV. They were deep enough. Just flat screens have really changed the game for Christmas decorations. But for the whole month of December, every year in my childhood, every time we would sit down to watch TV, which in the middle of the winter on a farm was a lot of times, we would also see this. Whether we were watching Sesame Street, reruns of MASH, or the nightly news, this nativity was a central part of it all. And while as a kid we put this 4-inch tall nativity there because it was the tradition, as an adult looking back, there is something really meaningful about this nativity and that location. And it tells me a bit about how I want to live my life. The season leading up to Christmas is hectic. For some of us, it still is. It has not stopped yet. And as we keep adding things to our Christmas traditions and the work parties and kids programs and cookie exchanges and family gatherings and Christmas shopping and lists for Santa, Christmas starts feeling complicated. But the best part of the nativity on the screen and the nativity we had up here tonight is that they are simple. We could add a ton more people. We could add a bunch more animals. We could even get some more ducks. But when we get right down to it, the thing that is most powerful and meaningful about Christmas is the reminder that God loves us so much that God came here to be with us, to show us how to live, not in a big fancy way, but in a quiet and simple way, showing up in a small town to people who weren't very important. And then God showed us through Jesus that living was really about doing our part to show love, to create peace, to bring joy and live in hope. Because we know that the God who came here because of love is more powerful than our biggest worries and more powerful than our biggest troubles. And not only is God bigger, but God is in the middle of our biggest worries and troubles with us. It is not easy to show love, create peace, bring joy, and live in hope. But we don't need to make it complicated. We've talked about these things all Advent season. When we lean into those things, hope, peace, joy, and love, that changes us, and then through us, it changes the world. All I can think about when I look at that plastic ornament from the 70s is for 4 weeks out of the year, we were reminded every day that God is with us, and it changed the way I lived. My hope for myself and my hope for you is that as we wrap up a busy and complicated Christmas season and we get back to our regular busy and complicated lives, We find a way to remind ourselves every day that God is with us. Maybe it's a note on your mirror. Maybe you frame the photo of this nativity and put it on your fridge. Maybe it's a lock screen on your phone. God is with you. You can show love, create peace, bring joy, and live in hope no matter what else is going on around you. All month long in Advent Kids, we've been talking about all of the people that followed the star to find the baby Jesus. And it doesn't end with one star thousands of years ago, but instead, when we live knowing that God is with us, we become like a star that points people to Jesus. One of my favorite songs at Christmas is not a carol, but a slightly sad-sounding song called Open Up by a band called The Brilliants. And there's a line that I think about all the time during the Christmas season. I'm going to leave it with you today. May your light cause us to shine so bright that we bring hope into the dark. The world needs hope, and you can be the star.